Legacy Maker, the All Sports Network.
Welcome to Commonwealth Sports Talk, Women in Sports, Episode 7, with your host, Joe Dillard Jr. This week's special guest, London Booker, former pitcher for the University of North Carolina Central Eagles and Meadowbrook High School star.
Welcome to Commonwealth Sports Talk. I'm your host, Joe D, bringing you women in sports as we continue to celebrate the women all across the world in sports. This podcast is designed to spread knowledge, teach, and inform the listener and viewer about the positive advancement of women in sports in Virginia and outside of Virginia. And so tune in as we are bringing you London Booker, Meadowbrook high school graduate out of Richmond, Virginia, and also played softball at North Carolina Central University. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get to it. Welcome to Commonwealth Sports Talk as we present women in sports, and we continue to educate the state of Virginia on our great talents all across the state. Commonwealth Sports is blessed to have London Booker join us. How are you doing?
I am doing great tonight. Just, living
day in paradise.
Already.
I put it on the spot there. That's no worries.
Oh, no.
But no, this is a young lady that played softball and basketball at Meadowbrook High School, also played collegiately at North Carolina Central University softball, pitcher at that. So, we'll talk more into that. I just had to throw your accolades out there and get everybody familiar with who we're chatting with before we start rolling.
My little accolades, my little ones.
Well, I usually do it like this. Take me back from the beginning. So where did the love of sports stem from? How did you become a dual athlete, a can do it all type athlete? Where did it come from?
Honestly, it's gonna sound cliche, but it's literally stemmed from my parents, and it's because they were athletes. My mother played basketball and softball as well, and my father played basketball. My father played growing up all the way up through high school. He was a very great basketball player at Jesus.
Don't do
Jesus. That. Well, it was when the high schools in Richmond were
combined
all together. George Wythe,
and Maggie Walker, and
yes, that's when they were all together. That's when he played. And if you go back, I'm pretty sure he still has some. Like everybody knows who he is, Stephen Booker. Like everybody like from Richmond knows pretty much who he is. He was a great athlete. He just chose not to play in college. He could have went places, but he didn't. He chose not to. My mother played for Powhatan High School, basketball and softball, and she received a scholarship to Longwood, where she played her 4 years, and she set records. I'm pretty sure she still has records there as a guard. She was very good. So, and then that's where I got it from. So from them two. So, you have both basketball players, and both basketball players is half of a softball player. Of course, I'm gonna be some type of athlete somewhere.
That's only natural. I didn't know it was that. I didn't know it was deeper than rap like that. That's something that a lot of people don't. Well, we're starting to break out of, where Black families have that 2-parent setting of having that success and being able to pass it down with prestige, instead of having to come from not knowing where you're from and all of that adversity that African Americans have faced. So take me through your multi-sport life. Like, you're in high school and maybe even before that. How do you know which one's better between like softball and basketball? Like, do you jump back and forth? Is it like, I'm better at one, but I like the other one better? How does that work?
I think that's absolutely what happened. I'm not even gonna hold you. So of course, I'm again, basketball, softball. I started with basketball, young age, of course, like everybody else, like rec ball. You know, I actually played rec soccer. Like, I was
everything. You was out there. You must have had all that energy.
So like I just tried everything. So literally, I started off with basketball. Then I don't remember how I got into softball, but I ended up there. And that was like Beulah days. I was Beulah.
Yes,
all Beulah. Beulah Elementary School. If nobody, if anybody is familiar with that, that's when we were like top tier. That's when Beulah was top tier. We had everybody, like everybody my age was top tier. Okay. Anyways, I'm just saying that because people try to say that we weren't, but we were the best that come out that way. But it started with that, and then literally just going season to season. So once basketball was over,
playing each year.
Say that again.
Did the Beulah crew stay together playing each year?
Pretty much until we all like got to a certain part where we had to like age out. Like, you know, the ones that was older ended up going, you know, middle school and stuff, and too older to play. And then, you know, it was just us. So it was just like that. And the crazy thing is, the girls that played basketball, we played softball. So we was together a lot. So that was when, you know, a lot of the greats from like Meadowbrook or Elsie Bird was playing for Beulah. Absolutely. But back to the dual thing, literally just when basketball ended, softball started. That when softball ended, I started playing basketball. Like, I would just go from one thing to another. When it got to the point where I started playing basketball was only at schools. So I never did AAU. I just did basketball in middle school. I played for Robius. I didn't play for Fallen Creek because I was only at Fallen Creek for 1 year. I played for Robius. Then I played my first 2 years at Cosby JV. And then once that I hit that sophomore, I was like, look, I'm too short to be a guard in this type of competition. I mean, I'm too short to be a post. So I'm only 5'8". Everybody else is towering over me in this area. You know, I'm good with just, you know, that was it. So I ended up stopping my career after sophomore year for basketball. I still like to play it, but like my career ended at my sophomore year, and then I took off with softball. So
did you play travel softball prior to your sophomore year?
Oh yeah, I started playing travel softball. Jesus, I was young but not young. I was
probably about
somewhere
9.
in middle school. Somewhere in middle school is when I started.
School, 11, 12.
Yeah, I think I believe so. Somewhere in middle school is where I started. And I think my first team was either with New Kent Blast or Richmond Freeze. It was one of the two. But I think it was New Kent Blast. I started with New Kent Blast.
Shout out to the ground cover. New Kent all the way to Richmond. That ain't.
Yeah, I had family. I had my aunt and my uncle and my cousin. My 2 cousins, well, one cousin, because the other one's older. Anyways, they live in New Kent. So it's like, you know, families that way. Oh, they got a travel ball team. So they sent me that way. So yeah,
that's dope.
So that's where the softball travel started. But yeah, it's just been a continuous sports year-round thing for me. I don't like not to play some type of sport.
It seems like you like to stay busy. That's more of the thing too that kind of came forward, because it's like that all that energy's got to go somewhere anyway, you know.
It does. I mean, I like to be late. Don't get me wrong. I'm lazy now. I'm lazy.
Yes, we can all be though.
I am lazy. But when it comes down to like actually playing sports, I love sports. I love it. So
that's dope. I'm gonna throw you a couple accolades in 2000. Well, your 2 years, you had 300 strikeouts. Like, take me through that. First of all, you had batting over 500 as well, and you were a standout athlete. But like, how do you perfect pitching in softball? Please walk me through that, because I'm asking that because 300 strikeouts. You throw all your life overhand, and even in that sport, you throw overhand. Yeah. So then you get on the softball, and you're a good athlete. You're playing different positions. I know how it works, similar to my experience in baseball. But then you're told, hey, try to pitch. So how do you go up to the pitcher mound maybe the first time compared to the last pitch at Central?
And be like, hey, here you go. Like, okay. Honestly, I started pitching in slow pitch. Okay. When I was in slow pitch, and that was a toss of the dice, because I really just was like, it was one, I forgot that, I don't know if it was about a game, we were about to play a game or something. Again, this is rec. So I don't know if we were about to play a game soon or something, but there was like, I guess the pitchers weren't going to be there. And I started off as a catcher. I was a catcher. Okay. Catcher, third baseman is what I was. Decent. I content with what I was. But they weren't gonna be there. So for some reason, I guess decided to pick up the ball and say, hey, let me try. Let me try it. And I just started tossing in the backyard. And then when it got time, came into the game, that's where it was. But pitching, I feel like you can never really perfect pitching, because it changes so much, and it's like, it's so difficult. People think it's so easy. It's difficult, because when you talking about pitching and you're talking about underarm, so like you said, overhand is so easy. That's the natural way your arm is coming. And when you throw on the base to base is overhand. When it comes down to pitching, it comes down to Lord, it's like how you breaking it down. So if you going from the start of the pitch, it's like how you wind up, how low you are, how your arm is positioned, what way are you rotating, how the velocity of how your hand is coming from up to down. The flick of your wrist is the biggest thing. The flick of your wrist, and I know it sounds like the song, flick of the wrist. Look at the wrist. But it's literally the flick of the wrist. That is the biggest thing. That's the make or break of a pitch, is the flick of the wrist. So you have to know when.
Let me, because I'm doing it right now too in my mind. So let me ask you this though, because I saw a picture and I looked at your pitch, and then I go, your elbow has to stay tucked to the body, doesn't it?
Yes. That actually depends on what pitch I'm throwing as well. Okay. But yes, your elbow needs to be
coming here through, or at least
it has to be. You got to be here. It has to hit here.
Correct.
And so to come through
velocity.
Yes. You have to have your body open, or the arm's not going to come through. The ball is going to go wide. You're going to have a ball. You might hit the person. So it's literally it gets to a point where it's so particular that if you've done it for a while, you know what you're messing up. So I got to the point where, and that's why I can, like, when I help my girls out when they pitching, or like when I am training pitching or something, when I watch a ball, even when I'm watching a game, when I watch a ball go, like when someone's pitching, I'm like, they messed up right there. They need to fix. They have to go back and fix that. Like they open too late. They close too early. You know what I'm saying? Something like that. It's so particular that you have to break it down so much in order to do that. And I don't know how it is in baseball. I don't think y'all got to break it down that much, because it's just here. I know y'all have different, pitches as well.
There's nuances that they think that is broken down like that, but nothing unnatural like the form of pitching in softball. Like, that's completely unnatural. So you really have to mature somebody into a comfort to doing that repetition. And everything else you could watch for a while and be like, oh, I think they could be in right field because they're not throwing that far. Oh, but he gonna be in left field, he got a cannon. You can't gauge that in softball pitching. You have to, from the beginning, that is, you have to learn and teach it. And I wanted to give a shout out to when I worked at Richmond, and of course with Petersburg as well, just trying to raise the softball community with the young ladies. And so a lady named Kim Morgan had so much emphasis in how to properly raise a young lady in the game of softball. And what I mean by that is just opening them up to every position, opening them up to a fun environment, allowing them to understand what the rules are and how to play it and if they like it or not. And I think that is something that goes overlooked a lot. Like you are in a blessed position. So I want to throw that rose also because your parents, your parents played, they're educated. That's what we want. We want more and a lot of that. So you're an offspring of that, but some don't get that. And so they come in at 9, 10 years old, and you can attest as a coach for Petersburg, you can attest that some may walk right to you and say, I've never played before, but I'll do whatever you ask me to do.
That's what I have right now.
That at 5.
That's exactly what I'm looking at right now. Have a little part of my team, I'll say maybe 25% of my team from this year have come up to me and say, I want to play softball. And I'm like, have you played before? No, but I would like to learn. I want to play. That's it. You can't
be mad at that.
That is it. I can't be. I'm just like, come on. And what I do is I try to break it down from the beginning for them. Yeah. I don't try to make them feel discouraged. I try to uplift them as much as I can. It might feel like you're helping a baby walk, but if that's how it's going to be, if that's how I got to get them to start running, then that's how it's going to be. Because if I have to hold your hand and then you start sprinting, so be it. But I don't mind a child coming up to me and saying that. I don't mind a child that's well informed about the game to come up to me and be like, I know this, but I want to learn some more. It's the same thing. I love when a kid, a young woman comes up to me and is like, they just want to play. Love it. I don't care if you never played. I don't care if you play it every day in your life. I don't know if you never heard of it. I don't care. Give you a jolt of energy. I absolutely love when they say, I want to play softball. It's just something like, ooh, yes. Softball players. Yes.
Bring them on.
Yes, that's what it is.
Bring them on. That's an awesome feeling. So it's amazing that now you're on the mentor role. And so tell me something that those sports habits or that sport lifestyle has brought forth to the older adult London that has now matured into this coach that is giving back and being a great, coach and mentor to these young ladies. What might be something you would say that came forward? And it's something that might stand out, and it could be small, but what might have came forward?
Honestly, work habits.
Good.
Work habits, dedication, patience. Just the change of the mindset.
Does it all. Want to do it.
And then maturity. That's really, and it's crazy to say that sports teach you that much, but it does. Because I honestly don't know where I would be without sports. I don't know where I would be if I wasn't into sports how I was. Like I don't think I would be the person that I am today with the lessons I've learned in all my years playing and still learning now coaching that I am. Like I wouldn't be me. I probably
and I know
someone with a quick temper
and just to the audience so they know, and I know who that person is. Now, mind you, I'm going to do the stereotypes. This is a softball playing, constant chatter, full perky energy, all up in your face with great energy type mentality. And I was like, I worked with her at camp and I said, there's no way she's going to do this all at camp. and here we are in the last week of camp. And I was looking like this is her. I said, that's gotta be the softball in her. Like, and that's the stereotype that I'm carrying forward. But the energy in softball is unlike a lot of other sports that teams carry because y'all rally, y'all have chants. You have so many things that are engaging one another pitch by pitch now, mind you.
Yep.
So, I think that's dope and I see it carried forward. So that's why I was like, I got to ask that because
you have to constantly uplift your teammate in softball because it's so, and I honestly, I think the Lord, I know of course teammates are going to fuss and, you're going to get on your teammates' nerves all the time because you're around each other and the females, females being around each other a lot is going to be some Like it's gonna be everybody got their own opinion, everybody got attitudes because they're female. That's a given. I'm not gonna be upset when somebody say that, but I thank the Lord for the teammates, even the ones in high school and when I was playing travel ball, but more so because I was able to look at it in a different light when I was grown and I was in college. Mm-hmm. I thank the Lord for my teammates because there were so many times where I was defeated on that mound. There were so many times where I didn't even want to come to practice. There were so many times where I was just ready to throw in the towel, say, I'm not even good enough for this. This ain't me. I can't do it no more or whatever. But if it wasn't for them constantly uplifting me in game after game, randomly just being them, I don't know. I again, I wouldn't be me.
But that's the joys of college.
Yeah, that's how they treat me, how they uplift me every pitch. Because that's what you got to do in softball. Yep. A pitcher throws a wild pitch. You don't see their teammates saying, "Oh, get it together." You're like, "Come on, London, let's go. You got this. Next one is a strike. Let's go. 3 up, 3 down. We got this." You somebody miss a ball in between their legs. Dust it off, girl. You got this. Throw 1, 2 go 1, 2 outs for the play at first. Let's go. Like that's the type of stuff that I carry. Because now when I'm talking to my kids in class, or I'm just talking to the kids at rec, like I'm constantly uplifting you. I'm not gonna bring you down. I'm like what I need. Every little thing you show me, every little piece of progress that I see. I love it. Yes, ma'am. That's it right there. I like that. Keep it going. Yes, ma'am.
Can't be mad at that. Tell me you got a league of your own for your girls to watch.
Man, I really need. When
I coached basketball, I had Coach Carter. So I think a league.
Man, I played Coach Carter in class. Like they watch. One of my class was watching it today.
Yeah, that's a learning movie.
You gotta watch it. They watch Remember the Titans. They
all them team building movies.
And now they watching Coach Carter, but I definitely got to play a league of their own for my actual girls. Because first of all, that is my look. If it's not my first, it's my second. I don't know what, but it's my favorite movie. Yeah. I know it word for word. Yes. That is my life. League of their own is my life.
What is it? Hag, nag, mule. Hag.
Marla Hooch, what a hitter.
They got the picture all the way back here.
Way in the back. Betty Spaghetti.
They know they're wrong for that
hitter. Like she's all the way back there. Waving her arm like this.
Yo, that movie is the best. And I mean, like, the way they gathered them, though, just to kind of get a synopsis in a forward for kids, your learning purpose, the way they brought them together, it was just so random. And so to learn the talents, it was on the fly. Everything was on the fly to know who did what, who was better at what and everything. So I just love how that all came together and they had to build in 1 or 2 years. And that's what modern sports is now, if you pay attention to it. Kids won't play together for more than 4 years. Together from age 5 to like 18. If you play with somebody for more than 4 years, that's one of your boys that you done rode it, or young ladies that you rode it out with for a while, because it usually rotates teams and you switch and things happen and parents feel and coaches change. But yeah, that's a classic. I had to throw that out there just
no, that is a classic. I love, like, that's my favorite movie. Like that is my favorite movie.
And it's all women too, but
then it's just did you
see my black lady in the movie?
Oh yeah, the one throwing the
foul ball. She was like, the lady came up to her close. She was like, man.
She caught that joker. She said, yeah, we throw heat over here.
She said, forget cutoff, man. I don't do the cutoff. I throw straight to the bag.
I go straight to her. I don't need that. I don't need you.
Yes. So let me get your last bit of advice from you, coming from a woman of such class. If you have a young lady, 8th through 11th grade, probably a good athlete, decent athlete, but don't really take it serious. But because of the opportunities and the experience from your path and the way you've walked, how would you try to convince them to focus in on an opportunity to go to college, and what would it be the touching points to make them understand what's in front of them?
Honestly,
I mean, because it's a lot, and so I'm gonna let you keep thinking with that, because it's a lot. Because
it is a lot, but I think I feel like the one thing that just came in my head was it's more than just being a woman. Mm-hmm. It's more than just being a woman. Mm-hmm. You're it's more than just basketball. It's more than just you being a model. It's more than you just. It's way more than that. It's more than that. Like, and I always bring this back. I think it sums it up for me for like a question like that. I played travel ball with a young lady, not African American, but around my age. I think she might have been like a year younger than me. Played travel ball with her. She very good player, fast as lightning, decent outfielder, all around, good slapper or whatever. Mm-hmm. She's good athlete. She got a full ride to Arizona. Only, wait for it, for running. She had gotten, well, for her, like partially, like she has skills, but the main thing was for her running because she's speedy. Positional. So if that doesn't make you sit back and think, if I don't just use some of my talent and my mindset that I can be more than just a woman to somebody,
preach,
then your life will be set. You don't have to worry about college. Just change the mindset. Just be more than what you think. And again, all around, it's more than just being a woman.
You're limitless.
I'm not just a woman. I'm not just here. You're not just you. You're not just whatever. You're more than that. So change your mindset to just try something different. You never know. Mm-hmm. I would have never gotten here if I didn't change my mindset and say, let me try pitching.
Yep.
I wouldn't have gotten here if I didn't change my mindset and say, oh, let me focus straight on softball. Because when I focus straight on softball, that's when my scholarship happened. Mm-hmm. So like it's just, I would love these young ladies. Again, it's more than just being a woman. It's more than just basketball. It's more than just cheerleading. It's more than just the basic sports. Mm-hmm. Get into softball, get into swimming, volleyball, beach volleyball, tennis. Mm-hmm. Like I tell my girls, like not just my girls, but like the girls I have in my class, like just do something. Mm-hmm. Do something. Just again, be more than just a woman. Mm-hmm. There's more out there for you than you think. And that's a lot of, and I probably getting off subject, but that is what I see a lot in not only just the female or the women of the young ladies of this time, but just the generation. Mm-hmm. They don't see themselves further. Mm-hmm. And that's an issue. Mm-hmm. And I don't know where that stemmed from, but that has to change, because I'm tired of seeing my kids that I have in my class not put forth effort or not feel like they are more than what they are because they can't see themselves in the future. They can't see themselves somewhere else.
Systematic oppression. We don't want to stay away from it, but it's so many angles that systematic oppression has hit a colored community of any kind, because it's been targeted multiple times. And so one may grow up from age 5 to 17 and only thought of 2 ways to be successful. Mm-hmm. And that's all they know. And that's the bad part about the system and the work that we feel we have to put back in. That's why you got emotional about it, because you understand that that's a cusp of changing your life. Like, you could just go left with that and don't even go to college. You work, you might do whatever, you might have a little goal, but you put yourself in a position of so much more harm than taking a path that allows you to have more opportunities. So
more opportunities. Like they say, like, I mean, I don't want to like really promote it, but sometimes they be like, some people say, you don't really need college, but college opens so many doors.
It does. It gives
it opens so many more doors than you just being out. And yes, it can happen with you just being a people person and you finding the right things and doing the right things. Yes, but college opens doors. If I didn't go to college, I wouldn't have been in a position where I needed internship. That internship led to me being at Virginia State. Being at Virginia State led me to having a free master's degree. A free master's degree led me to my job here. That my job here led me to coaching. My coaching job, it's the opportunities that are open. And that is like, again, reverting back to, the women. It's more than just being a woman. It's way more than being a woman. And I just would really love girls to not feel like they're stuck or they have to. And then again, you join back. You have, as a woman, you have to do so much more than just a little bit.
Yeah. Because
it's already, and it's bad, but it's already a male dominant world. We just living in it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's really bad to say that, but it's just how things are. So as a woman, as a young lady, you need to learn that you got to do way more than what you're doing. If you want to be in sports, you got to practice. And then you take another step back, you being an African-American woman in this day and age, you got to do 10 times more than anybody else. Cause you gotta go out there and practice when everybody else at home. You gotta go
that much better.
You have to be just this much better in order to be seen. And that is why. And if I'm speaking my truth, I'm speaking my truth. But I'm gonna take it back even further. That is why I switched schools. I was at Cosby.
I was wondering if this was going to come out.
Mind you, Cosby is not my home school. Wasn't my home school.
I was wondering if this was going to come out, and I knew not to ask about it. And
I'm cool with talking about it.
I know you are, but I wanted to make sure that you brought it in on your own terms because it's continue.
Yeah, no. Being at Cosby, I was at Cosby, not my home school. I was there for the specialty center because I was already at Robius. I played JV James River my 8th grade year because I was at Robius. Again, Robius not my home middle school. I was at Fallen Creek, but that whole SOL thing, we got shipped over there for free if you wanted to. Yep. So we went over there. Since I was over there, I did 8th grade JV softball, whatever. Decided I wanted to be in the specialty center at Cosby. So specialty center at Cosby, played JV my first year. Okay, cool. I'm new. You don't really know me. That is cool. I'm a 9th grader. That's fine. I'm cooling. 10th grade year. It's an excuse that I don't want to receive of why I'm not on varsity. If you want to look at the demographics, there wasn't really demographics. Okay. I want to say I was the only
a token of your appreciation.
I was the only black dot on a piece of paper.
A token of your appreciation.
Yes. I'm pretty sure I was. Mm-hmm. If I think about it really hard, I'm pretty sure I was. If I'm lying, then it might have been another black dot, but I don't think so.
But the dynamic.
I don't think so.
It is a visual. Don't worry.
So 10th grade year, okay. Whatever excuse you gave me, I'll take it. I'm going to take it back. I'm going to develop myself as a player. I'm going to come back next year. It's going to be okay. Come back next year, junior year, I get cut from tryouts. I did all the days of tryouts. It was amazing at tryouts. They seen that I've been playing with you for 2 years. I've led you as a pitcher and a hitter and a third baseman to, I think we won I think we were first place both of my years as JV. Because I know we went, did we go undefeated one year? I don't even know if we went undefeated. I don't know. But we were top team both of my years. And I helped lead you there. Hitting, pitching, and third baseman wise. So you come down to junior year, all the way through tryouts, I go look at that sheet. My name's not on it. For what? There's no reason why. Nobody there was better than I was. Nobody there in the position that I was in was better than I was. So I'm not going to lie to you. That discouraged the mess out of me. Went home, cried my eyes out. Cried my eyes out when I seen it. Called my mom, cried my eyes out, telling me, I think I was actually driving at that point. But still, crying my eyes out. Whatever. We made a decision as a family after meeting with my Meadowbrook coach to transfer me back home to my home school.
Come on home with me in Cameron's voice.
Come on home
with me.
Come on home. So I definitely and the crazy thing is I tell people this story all the time. And it sounds funny, but it's so truthful. I went to school at Cosby. My mom and I drove up there to sit together. I went up there the regular time. I think I went to my class, my first period class. And after that, I went by and said bye to everybody. By lunchtime, Cosby, deuces. I said goodbye. Said goodbye to my teachers. This is my last day here. I'm only here to say goodbye. Literally left Cosby. Went and I'm pretty sure I grabbed McDonald's. We went and got McDonald's. Pulled up into Meadowbrook. I sat in that guidance office, and I was enrolled in Meadowbrook that fast. I attended the last period of the day and went home.
I love that
easiest
story.
And like it sounds so funny.
Story.
Like they're like, why would people do that? Like, usually people like transfer and wait a couple of days or something. I was in and out real quick.
No, in the middle of the night, Baltimore Ravens style, like show
exactly
up
like a trade, complete trade. But it had to be done because my career was on the line at that point.
Facts.
Because at that point I'm a junior.
Yeah,
and I'm playing travel ball. Mm-hmm. At this point, you had to have somebody looking at you. High school has to set you, along with travel, high school has to set you up for
They work
greatness.
together.
They have to work together. Mm-hmm. And you can't just be travel and not have any type of accolades in high school. It's not going to happen. Mm-hmm. It's not going to happen.
You ain't
so
lying.
You're putting my career in jeopardy at this point because of some issues.
Yeah.
Some issues. And so I had to do what I had to do. And then once I transferred, yes, it was a different look. It was a different feel. It was a different flow. But that flow helped me get to where I was supposed to be. So I have no.
You got the best of both worlds. I got
the best of both worlds. And
approach.
I'm grateful and I'm blessed that the Lord placed me in that position in order for me to see the light. Now, that wasn't the first encounter of mistreatment that I've had in softball, but I mean, I could talk about, I think I legit have probably, I think one good not racist, but color story, like
Farmer John stories.
Yeah, one of them issue.
But look, I'll cover you real well like this with the scruff face. And be like, hey, look, that's why all the stuff in the beginning that we talked about. That's when you're allowed to have this moment now because you passed all those tests. Because everybody don't pass those tests. Yeah, no. You see what I'm saying? Those adversity tests where they look you right in your face and say, "I'm not going to let you play today, and I don't even have a reason why, but I'm not going to let you play." And you can't do nothing about it. Now, in a normal neighborhood setting, somebody just cries, whimpers, goes and does whatever. Or I'll give you another movie comment. Oh, come on, man. Hardball, when the boy was over age and couldn't play, he went and it was a wrap. And everybody felt sympathetic for that. Like, dang, just let the boy play. Just the boy out there gangbanging.
Just lie.
So, it's a great opportunity to see how adversity kicks the butt of people and then how you respond to it. And you responded. You was like, nah, normally people take 2 days. I was like, nah, kudos to you because you responded immediately and was ready to go to practice the next day at Meadowbrook. That's the stuff I'm talking about. Like, that's
like, honestly, like it might have been like within that week, actually. Like I got cut. I think in that week, I met with the coach, and then like maybe the next week, it was in the span of a week or two that it happened. But the process of me pulling out of Cosby and going right into Meadowbrook was all in one day.
Yeah.
But literally, like I met with the coach. He was like, whatever, we talked. He saw how I pitched. He was like, okay, you here. If you want, you can. And we made a decision. It was like, hey, here we go. That's it. But it's like, it really is. And that's why I said, like, and you said, what advice can I give? And it's like, again, in general, women is more than just being a woman.
Yes.
In this world, and just more than just being a woman in athletics. Yes. But then to dial it back is more like being an African-American woman in this specific sport. I can't talk, for basketball too much, you know what I'm saying? Because that's pretty, it's
different lanes.
It's different lanes for that. But softball, it is hard. It is so hard. There was several times where I wasn't being played because of my color, but I was better than the one that was being played. Mm-hmm. Like I literally sat on the bench in travel ball. And I'm not even gonna hold you. I fell asleep because you're not playing me. I'm literally on the edge of a bench because I'm just like, and then because of my color and because I'm better than who you have out there, but you don't want to see me out there succeeding. You want that one to succeed more than me, and which is a problem. And then we fast forward in that, and I've been playing travel ball for years, and so all of this is adding up. But there was this one time, and again, Lord knows what he's doing and who he puts in the area at the time and why, because comes down to junior, senior year. I can't remember. Travel. I was with my last travel team. Okay. And I don't remember what tournament it was, but it was a tournament in North Carolina. That tournament, we were able to play, each team was able to play at the NC State Stadium one game. The whole tournament, the whole weekend. You can play at the other sports complex, but one of your games is at the stadium. NC State Stadium. Cool. I wasn't sure, but the coach that recruited me for Central, I didn't know this. I didn't know her. I didn't know she was coming or whatever. Okay. She was there. They were there scouting, and they wanted to see me. They wanted to see me specifically. My travel ball coach told her that I wasn't pitching that day. All because he didn't want me to be great. Okay. Which was a fit because I think I ended up playing, but I think I ended up pitching later or something like that. I wasn't pitching today. So she was like, bet. The next day when we was back at the regular fields, she came and was like, hi, I want you. After she watched me play, she was like, hi, I want you. We, the conversation. And then she ended up telling me that my coach told me I wasn't playing. For what? Why would you tell me? Why would you tell her that? And I'm playing because you don't want me to succeed.
That's all that is.
You didn't want me to succeed. You wanted the one that was out there to get looked first.
By any means necessary.
By any means necessary before I was able to.
That's not how it works.
But God knew what he was doing because she ended up coming back that next day and seeing me anyways, and I still got my scholarship despite of people trying to put their foot in the way. and I know people have stories. And that's why I'm so glad that I'm able to tell my stories, because it is not an easy journey. It was not an easy journey.
Thank you. And see, that's why hard. That's why we have this platform. That's the main reason we have this platform. If I even remotely hear a passionate story or a motivational story or anything, it stays in my head for a while. And so, like, what has this been, like 2 summers ago? We were working at the camp, and
2
summers ago, we couldn't. So and it's still fresh in my brain. Like, I remember that story. I remember, the transferring and why, and how you had adversity, and then how you feel more at home where you're at now, and all of the transitionings that happened. And I was just like, girl, you a walking story. Like, and now this whole movement.
I try. Like, I know I hear some, you listen to other people's stories and stuff, and you're like, dang, I'm glad I didn't go through that. But at the same time, you got to take a step back and be like, you went through some stuff. You got to realize, you got to acknowledge of what you've came through. It might not have been like that other person right there, but you have come through some stuff, and you need, and I think again, my friends have taught me this, especially recently. You got to give yourself grace.
Yes.
You have to give yourself grace. And that's what I'm learning now, because like I'm saying now, like, I take a look back and while I'm saying this, I'm processing it at the same time. Like, I'm really looking back, like, I really went through a lot to get to where I'm at. I really had to deal with a whole lot in my life in order to be the softball player and where I was at that moment. Like, now, like, if it wasn't for me getting cut, I wouldn't have been at Meadowbrook. If it wasn't for me for getting cut, I wouldn't have those records. If it wasn't for me being cut, I wouldn't have been in the papers.
He has a plan.
If it wasn't for me being cut, I wouldn't have had my number retired.
He has a plan.
If it wasn't for none of that, me getting the scholarship, me being the full 4 years, me getting a master's, me getting cut set me up for everything I have right now in life. When it comes down to
setback
success.
For a great comeback.
It's so much stuff. Lord, there's so much stuff. I was like, huh? And I this is why I hate talking about myself, because I just be thinking about stories, and I'm like, what happened?
Built Forward Tough is what I first thought of when I saw you, but the avenues and everything. So I'm like, what does that mean? Is she hood? Is she gonna beat me up type girl? Built Forward Tough? Is she like demanding? Is she like open? Is she like spontaneous? Like, so there was many ways, but I knew for a fact that quality was there. And so just seeing it now and how it all came full circle, that's nothing but throwing roses from Commonwealth Sports to you. So, like, we really appreciate that.
No problem. It's just crazy, because, like, I really just want girls, like, and eventually, like, I know I've talked to you about it, like, eventually I want to have a softball program organization for this area, this Tri-City area, the Pittsburgh, Richmond, wherever else I gotta go, wherever I go, whatever, I don't care. All this right here, I wanna develop an organization that's going to excel. It's not just African American, but even if other races and whatever, to understand that it's like to enjoy softball, to be
you're
there.
In Petersburg, and in Richmond, there's a lady named Kim Morgan. I mentioned it earlier, and she runs the sports and parks and rec in Richmond. Mm-hmm. She does the softball programming. That would be an awesome opportunity to bring that bridge. Mm-hmm. And I think if I could do anything to help, I definitely will, in regards to connecting people, networking, or just even putting in time. So, keep that blueprint going, because people is watching. People needs that. We need that juice. Everybody needs that juice.
I promise you, I really want these girls. Like, I think I said it. I was talking to Jerome Mathis today, and because we always run into each other, and we were just talking, and I was like, I really wish I had my girls longer than what I had, because a lot of the girls that I have are older. They're like senior and juniors, and I really wish I had them from the get-go, and like dug into because they're such great players.
Yeah,
they're such great players, and it's like they're so undiscovered. And if I would have had them a long time ago, I could have gotten them somewhere. Somewhere big. Like
for my Commonwealth sports followers, they know what I'm probably going to say to you. So as a high school team, the best thing to do is pick any elementary school and then eventually in rotation, all elementary schools, and go put on a 30 to 45 minute exhibition, an auditorium type exhibition for those kids. And if you just want to do the girls, it's got to be done, because what's going to happen is they're going to see it. And so when you bring that program in, they saw it and they know it all comes together. And so I think that will help, because that's role models. And then that empowers your girls as teenagers to realize that they've got responsibilities without having to get real responsibilities, and can utilize that as teaching lessons too. So I'm, like I said, I'm 100% behind that. You know, I would go all day with you in regards to conversations. So that's a sign of how I know you good peoples. Yeah, I call it backwood, but you may not. I'm backwood. We tree line. We throw cookouts. We don't do picnics, and we do all kinds of other things.
I'm a Richmond Powhatan breed.
There you go.
I'm a hybrid.
Right on the water line.
I'm a daddy from Richmond, mama from Powhatan. I'm both. Man, I got the both worlds.
That's dope. It's still all VA love, but thank you for your time. Continue to be blessed. Continue to work. Continue to lead, and we're gonna link up eventually. So you know how it works.
No problem. Thank you for having me, though. For real. Thank you so much. And of course, your platform, like, you're doing big things, big things. And I just thank you for letting me to be on your platform.